Signed, sealed, delivered, he's ours for now. Emmanuel Dennis signs for Blackburn Rovers on deadline day. Is he the ticket to the gig time? We'll tell you all about that and much more next. That's right, folks, back once again in another video. Today is all about transfer deadline day and, of course, our latest edition up top. Who am I talking about? I'll tell you in a second. If you're new where you've been, hit the old subscribe. You want some shop for Blackburn Rovers Championship transfer deals. Emmanuel Dennis. That's right. We'll get to that in just a second. Of course, big shout out to the members. Big shout out to the patrons. You know who you are. So Blackburn Rovers were surprisingly active on transfer deadline day, bringing in 3 faces. Of course, I'm going to be dropping each and every one of the players a dedicated video to tell you who they are and what they're going to bring to the setup. And today, we're going to look at a star signing for me. I think, I know a lot of people are jumping on the bandwagon saying this, saying that. And yes, he is a bit of a gamble, but take a bloody good look at the fella, if I can bring him up on the screen right about now. It's Emmanuel Dennis, that's right, formerly of, well, actually, still in the books of Nottingham Forest, formerly of Watford. He's a Nigerian international. He's a pacey little bad boy, and he scored some goals in the Premier League. We'll look at all those numbers in a minute. But what's your gut feeling on this deal? I think it's, for me, well, let me know your opinion. I want to know your opinion, but put it down below if you think it's a good deal, bad deal. Now, of course, when we look at it, and probably when I'll do it at the end, once we've gone over the numbers, there are some negatives to this deal, but what comes out on top, the positives or the negatives? For me, right here, right now, my gut feeling is that we are just, we are desperate for quality. We're desperate for an end product. And again, once you look at the grand prize or the bigger picture of what has been accomplished this transfer window, there's a lot of depth, extra bodies in the door, and when fit, we have quite a good set of players now. So let's go into it then. Of course, we'll talk about Emmanuel Dennis. Here he is under the microscope, rocking a nice-looking Nottingham Forest away get-up there. Meanwhile, take a look at him. He is of 27 years of age, can play in the attacking area of the field, up top, whether it's up in the middle or down on the wings. Just 27 years of age. He's yet to reach his prime. He's 175 centimetres tall. He is right-footed. And his contract expires at Forest next summer. So maybe there's something in this that if it was to work out, maybe we'll have to come in for this for a longer term deal. But let me jump back into that. This deal works for both cases here, for us and for Dennis himself, because he's not getting a look in at Forest. They're doing absolutely phenomenal. Why would they change it up and, of course, incorporate this fellow where if it ain't broke, don't fix it. They're flying high in the Premier League and they look like they're going to go to the Champions League. So he's kind of left out in the cold here. It's a chance for him to get goals, get some game time, and maybe either, hopefully maybe get a deal for us, or probably better for him, get a deal elsewhere. A top-end championship club might come sniffing. Just a chance to get him back in the spotlight here. So let's take a look at him, a little bit more detail. Can play down the middle, which I'd like to see him down the middle, but he can play either left or the right-hand side. Kind of like big bad boy Burton Diaz back in the day. Of course, he has played for Club Bruges a good portion of his time. Watford as well. Forest, yeah, not many goals, but let's maybe hopefully break those numbers down a little bit. This is his attributes. Again, when we look at those attributes, they're not that amazing, are they really? Creativity, 47. Attack, 61. Technique is 47 as well. So below, there's a lot of not question marks, but financial concerns with this deal, with longevity. If you want to make this deal happen, there's some, he's on a good wage at Forest. We're not paying that full wage at the moment, so I think that's what made this deal happen. I don't think we could afford it if we were paying all of it, because that's where it's a little bit sour for me. Anyway, okay. Over the course of time, he has played, I don't know what we're looking at, 250 games. He's played in all variety of positions, but what comes out at the top is most often is a striker, and then it is left winger. He can play on the right as well. So probably an inverted left winger with a right foot there. He's got 7 goals in 42 in that regard. But as a striker down the middle, again, in all competitions, all venues, we're recording Watford, we're talking Club Bruges, even Zori Lugashnesht in there. It's probably Ukraine, if my memory serves me rightly. But, you're looking at one in every, 3? Something like that, just shy of 1 in every 3. That's not too shabby, guys. That's not too shabby. What about his stats and numbers there? Now, this season he's played, is this season? This is probably last season under Forest. Played 19 games, scored just the 2 goals. Now, yeah, I know the numbers right off the bat don't look great because he's not getting games, but there's a player in there, and I'm sure he's desperate to get himself back playing regularly and back scoring goals, and I think he's at a good place to do that. We're desperate for a main man up top. Don't get me wrong, I think Yuki Hashi has been okay, and he's had a long old season, and it was always going to bite us in the ass in the end. Magdagay is getting there. He's starting to influence games, big strong man. And now, of course, we added Corley Woodrow, which is just another sort of a body, an option, a plan B to throw up there, taller than this guy. But this guy is marquee ability for us at this level. He's not going to be a marquee signing at the Premier League, but at this level, eyebrows were raised. There was a lot of gasps around the Championship space when this deal was announced. That Rovers have put it off. It's a coup. It's a major coup. He's fallen off the radar a little bit, as you could say. Todd Cantwell's fallen off the radar a little bit, but maybe John Eustace is the man to get him singing again, get him banging goals again, and then we're in 5th. We're in 5th in the moment. This is, of course, a great opportunity to add quality and maybe just keep us treading water in that 5th spot and ride out the season. So yes, the numbers at this moment in time from last year aren't great, but there's a player in here, and again, so I don't want to really look too deep into these numbers because they are old numbers, but there is no numbers for this year. I think the rumor or the talk in the chat was that he hasn't played a game in 9 months, so that is the major concern. Heat map from last season definitely prefers to come down the left hand side than the right at the moment. I am going to compare him to this fella. He is, of course, out of contract at the end of the season. He could be a replacement for him. What would you do? What would you do in this scenario? At the end of the season, Dennis is decent. Chipped in with a few goals, few assists. Tyree Stone's contract's expired. At the moment, what would you do? Would you want Tyree Stone back? Would you want to keep Emmanuel Dennis? Let me try and make that decision for you here. Let's take a look at the players under the microscope. Tyree Stone is considerably younger, but he is considerably shorter. Both players can operate in a similar sort of style. It looks like Emmanuel Dennis's main spot is down the middle there, with Tyree Stone's main options down the right. Values. Of course, Emmanuel Dennis was once ranked as high as 17 million. That's why he's a bit of a coup. At 4 million at the moment, his contract is dwindling. I believe it's 2026, his actual contract. His contract expires with us in May. And then Tyree Stone's contract expires in June as well. So, let's take a closer look at the valuations, of course, over the time. Emmanuel Dennis skyrocketed up there near 20 million during his time at Club Bruges, eventually making a move to Germany and Nuremberg around about 12 million. Didn't really work out for him. It was actually FC Köln right there. Then he dipped off back to Bruges. Watford snapped him up for 5 million. He got back up there towards 15. Forest stumped the cash. And then, of course, he dribbled out to nowhere, really. Question marks. As for Dolan, of course, his career has been Preston, a little bit alone there. I think Bury or something like that. I'm not too sure. And then with Rovers. Anyway, let's take a look at the stats then over the course of the years. Now, Emmanuel Dennis is, 4 years older, give or take, but he's played only just a handful of games. 40 games more than Tyree Dolan heading into this one, but he scored double the amount of goals. And when we look at them, look at those goals. I'm actually quite stunned in this. I thought the goals that he scored in the Premier League were for Forest, but I believe this is Watford. 12 goals scored in 52 games in the Premier League. That's a Premier League striker right there. That is a good return. He's scoring a goal every 276 minutes in the Premier League. In the Championship, not so much, but maybe he's thinking, what the fuck am I doing in the Championship? He's played in the Champions League, Emmanuel Dennis. This guy has got, pedigree. He's got pedigree. Yeah, of course, it's just not working out at the moment, but pretty dang good. Juniper League also top scorer, well, a decent scorer in there. So on average, scoring a goal every 271 games, which is half that of Tyrese Dolan. But again, he does play more down the central. But yeah, looking pretty savvy as well. Let's take a look at the sort of attribute here. So his attacking attributes are so much better than that of Tyrese Dolan. There's a good 6 points clearance in there. Then it kind of trails off a little bit. Creativity is not as good as Tyrese. Or maybe that's a good thing. You want somebody with just the nose of goal. His defending is not as good as Tyrese either. Tackling is about the same. So, you know, when we look at it, it's alone right now. Rumours of all sorts of figures banding around what kind of wage this guy earns on a daily basis at Nottingham Forest. It appears that we're paying 20 to 30k a week, which is, you know, God, like crazy money when we think about what we were limited to under Mowbray, which of course was a sensible option back in the day, and maybe just maybe now we are pushing the envelope a little bit to improve our quality by bringing in such players as Emmanuel Dennis. This is a major gamble for Rovers. It's not a uptime gamble that we can't recover from this. Now, if I think, you know, at the end of the day, what does this mean? What does this do for Rovers? It improves our chances to remain in that playoff discussion. I'm not saying it improves our chances to be a playoff team, but it does give us more firepower. And again, when you look at the grand prize, when all fit and raring to go, we've got the likes of Arne Sigurdsson to come back. We've got Ohashi to come back. We've got now the addition of Corley Woodrow. We've got Dolan still here. We've got Mario Kozadubri. We've got a lot of attacking options, a lot of darts to throw at the board here. So if it ain't broken, we can throw a new option on. Whereas, turn the clock back to the other day when we had 2 or 3 youngsters on the bench, which, don't get me wrong, there's a place for youngsters, but right here, right now, we're in a position, we're in 5th in the league. We've got some very awkward games coming up, and we need bodies, we need firepower, we need to maintain that push somehow. And Rovers are going for it on a bit of a reserve sort of kind of, not guns blazing. They're not putting the kitchen sink down, but they are laying a little bit of money on by bringing in a player of Emmanuel Dennis' quality. There is going to be some expenditure to that, and it could end up being a wasted option. But is he better than what we've got right now? For bloody sure. I think McDegay and Ohashi, there are good players in there, and they're for keeps. And I think bringing this guy in, who's, when you look at those numbers, Premier League, double-digit goal scorer, playing in the Champions League, playing a top flight in Germany. This guy's got it. And again, we can't turn our nose up at this. And again, adding this on to, like, if there was just Emmanuel Dennis, then I would still be fucking blowing smoke at me. It would have been so fucking amazing, this deal as is. But throw in Corley Woodrow, an experienced championship player, and then we've got some tools. We've got some tools in our toolbox to kind of get us out of this situation. So, yes, it's good, but the money what we're paying is quite ludicrous, I would imagine. But let's do it. Let's go for broke. And I guess I'm hoping we're going to see him first in action against Wolves, against the Premier League team in the FA Cup, whether it's a start or whether it's a sub, who knows. But anyway, let me know your thoughts about Emmanuel Dennis coming in. Until then, make sure you subscribe, hit the old like, hit the bell. We'll be back with some more transfer updates and, of course, the watch along later. But until then, we are done.